We Elliot rockin' well, we We out here at the Penguin fucking course. Oh god. Might as well do one lap. Top A, top J. I'll be back Wednesday if you want to chat and chill. All right, brother. I'll be.
The problem is that I don't like killing people if they don't deserve it. I don't believe in the dead. I already came from the dead.
You killed Rigo because you feel he deserved.
I will be around, brother. I will be around. It's a holiday in Canada today, bro. I keep forgetting you Americans gotta work and shit. Appreciate you, Jay, man. I gotta get out of here and go back to Vorkath. I just want to do one lap. Hopefully get the pet. That'd be sick. Bro, if I get the pet here, I'm gonna fucking jump out my window. And we're 3 stories up. If we get the pet here, I'm jumping out my window, boys. Pet. No. Bummer. It will always be above you. It's a true North America. Shit. We are the true North Americas. Lord, forgive me for my sins. We've done this again and again. When will it come to an end? No, 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 no. Ooh. Can we get the pet today, baby, please? I'm begging you. I'm begging you, game. Give me the pet. Give me the pet. Let's go. No, I'm done. Well, that's awkward. Awkward. I just ate that fucking little face hugger to the biscuit. I clicked and I should have been walking. This is a horrendous fucking run right here. Oh my god. Sir. Sir. Thank you, my mind. Thanks, mine. Yo, anyone in my chat watch the new Penguin TV show? I swear to God, that show is Breaking Bad and fucking Sopranos just put together, bro. It is so good. Cheesy but good. Very cheesy, but very good at the same time. Thanks, mine. Uh, 150 hellhounds to kill? Shit, maybe I should go kill the hellhounds, get some defense XP? No, it wouldn't even be enough, actually. I thought I had more. I thought I was closer to my defense level than what it was. Be kind of just a waste of time. I can just AFK hellhounds when I'm fucking at work or something. What am I saving here for? We gotta think. We need 92 construction. We need to get 92 construction. I think we save for 92 construction. We get like 100 mil in the bank. That's what we do. We got 100 mils in the bank. And we just go bang out construction 92. And then we just fucking buy upgrades to armor with all the leftover resources. That's exactly what we do. If I don't die here, holy shit. My clicks today are not on point. What? That was... I only counted 6 attacks there, but whatever. Maybe I'm tripping, man. Maybe I'm just tripping, man. 29. Kill him here. Hit a fat 80. 50 is nice. Hit a fat 80. Fat 50. Fat 15 right there. Hit an 80. 80. 80. 74. 19. Not really exactly a 74, but... I feel like a fucking clown. I've only killed him twice here. It's pretty pathetic. I still got food on the ground. Never mind. I'm shit talking myself without even having the need. We'll pop that there. We're gonna go like this. We're gonna find something to watch. Breaking Bad if Hank didn't poop. Oh no. Turn on the dab rig real quick. Let's get ready to smoke a fucking toke, shall we? Gentlemen. Deanna, I hope you're having a great day. Today is a holiday, so yeah, I can't speak. Today has been a great day. Holiday, you know, just get to chill, relax, and then tomorrow I start a week of work at a new job for the government. So I'm pretty excited about that. Sean will be on in a few. Wicked. Appreciate you for dropping in.
I don't spend time thinking what life is outside, but I just get depressed, if you care to put it that way, thinking of what life I had before and why I'm in here. I get up in the morning and say, God, why am I in here? I did nothing wrong.
Hi everyone, I'm
God
Kevin,
begs to
and
differ.
This is Just Thought Lounge. JTL is the true crime channel that delivers serious, well-balanced coverage of the cases that really make you think. We're taking a look further back in this
Two, hope you're doing well, Deanna.
To the 1980s in Miami,
Appreciate
Florida.
you for dropping by.
However, this is a case that remains unbelievably still developing even today. For those of you already familiar with the case of Kris Maharaj, you'll know why we just had to cover it. For those unfamiliar, you're in for a bit of a ride. In the DuPont Plaza Hotel in downtown Miami, Florida, two men, Derek and Dwayne Moo Young, a father and son, were found dead inside room 1215. It was the 16th of October, 1986, and the city was awash in the criminal activity wrought by the drug smuggling activities of the Colombian drug cartels. Murders related to the drug trade in and around the city were plentiful. But the two victims found in the hotel were said to be nothing more than small businessmen.
What the fuck? Why
There was
didn't he
an
walk right
eyewitness
away?
to the murders linking
so
an
stupid.
ex-business partner with an axe to grind directly to the crime.
Thank you. I appreciate I
decades
am now in
after Derek
oxygen
and
all
Dwayne
the time,
Young
so
were
it's stressful,
killed,
but I do the
however,
best I
there's
can.
been a massive information
Yeah, it's gotta be hard.
information about
But you know,
individuals who were
everything
in the
happens for
hotel
a
that day,
reason.
and revelations about the victims themselves. This story takes
I'm
us
sure
from
you'll,
the
I'm
brutal
sure
scene of a
you'll,
double homicide through a rapid trial,
you'll pull
and then
through,
through
you
no
know?
less than 3 decades of further, relentless investigation and the fight for justice. Let's take a look.
You're a trooper.
Miami, Florida in the 1980s became infamous as the drug gateway, serving as the first point of import for drug cartels.
Bro, imagine
moving
being
their
in
product
fucking
up through
Miami in
South
the
America
80s,
and
dude.
into
That
the
would have
north.
just been a different
These
life.
cartels, including Pablo Escobar's Medellin cartel in particular, moved billions of dollars worth of cocaine over the years, fueling the destructive habits of tens of millions of Americans.
The new Cosa Nostra, about 12 Colombian
The new
crime
Cosa
families that
Nostra.
collectively manage the cocaine trade, feed the
funny.
habits of more than 15 million Americans who use and abuse the drug, and in the process amass personal fortunes worth hundreds of millions.
Hundreds of
even
millions,
billions of
buddy. We're
dollars.
not
They have
talking
done so
hundreds of
by
millions. We're
smuggling
talking
tons of
billions,
cocaine
my
through
guy.
this, the American gateway
Millions
for
with a
drugs,
B.
Miami.
As the center of the drug trade, the
Jesus,
city
this
became
guy is
a hotbed of
underestimating the
criminal
fucking
activity
power
throughout
these people
the 80s
had.
and early 90s.
God damn.
Homicides became so numerous that a
He's probably making that
refrigerated
fucking
truck was reportedly
newscast,
purchased
you know,
by
he's
the
just eating his
Miami
chin.
police force to cope with the daily intake of those lost in the chaos. While the violence on the streets increased, the problem spread elsewhere. In the latter part of the decade, nearly 10% of Miami police were either fired or suspended due to drug-related scandals. Corruption was rampant throughout law enforcement, a fact that was not well concealed even at the time. October 1986.
They would be
the
pulling
self-made
people over in
millionaire
Miami
British
and shit, just
citizen
regular
Kris
ass citizens.
Maharaj was on a visit
They had
from London to
gunpoint and they'd be
Florida,
fucking
seeking
robbing
some further
random
business
citizens
connections.
like the police would,
Krishna, who
just so they
goes
could
by
go
Kris,
buy more
moved
fucking
from his
dope.
native Trinidad to the UK in 1960 and began to build his fortune. Kris had started off as a truck driver, making
Fucking
trips
wild
from the
time,
south
man.
and north
Imagine
of
being
England.
alive in the
He
80s, dude.
managed to
Oh my
launch a
god.
successful
I wish I was
import
in my
export
prime during
business in
during the
foodstuffs,
80s, dude.
primarily fruit,
Fuck,
when he
man.
took out a small loan to import
I swear to
and sell
God,
his
I'd be a
first load of bananas.
multimillionaire.
From here, he built a
Or
flourishing
dead or in
business,
jail.
taking his profits and reinvesting,
One of the three.
diversifying, and expanding his operations. His trade in tropical fruit
Rich as fuck,
naturally
dead, or
led him to Florida.
Bro, how does that? I don't understand
Chris had
this
a
shit right
business
now.
meeting scheduled
I
at
think
the
I might be
DuPont Plaza
lagging a bit
Hotel
because
on
my
the morning
ticks
of
are
the
like
16th of October.
that time it wasn't. But my
Located
ticks are on
downtown,
point.
the hotel
Like,
was not considered an upscale
I'm not moving any
establishment.
slower than I normally
In fact,
would.
it had a bit of a reputation for being the location of some
probably
shady
dead here.
dealings. Chris's meeting was arranged by an acquaintance, a man named Neville Butler. Amongst Chris's
Neville
business ventures
Longbottom.
was a newspaper he owned and operated called the Caribbean Times that catered to the West Indian community. Neville Butler had been a contributing writer for the Times, as well as for a similar competitor publication called the Caribbean Echo. Both of these publications had recently run a series of articles detailing a financial feud between Kris and one of his former business associates, Derek Moo Young.
Oh no.
Derek, a Chinese-Jamaican businessman, just like Kris, was also
No, I
ostensibly
fucking
running a
I didn't
small
click my tail.
import-export business.
I didn't click my
He had also
teleport.
convinced
I killed
Kris
him
to have
too.
him manage a property portfolio for him in the United States while Kris
I killed
lived
him
in
with
London.
that shot.
But in his dealings with Kris, Derek had failed to meet his obligations and had made off with thousands. According to Neville, the meeting that he arranged at the DuPont Hotel on that day was between Kris and Derek Moo Young, and it was arranged at Kris's urging. Kris claimed that Derek had scammed and extorted relatives of his in Trinidad out of over $160,000, which is the equivalent of close to $500,000 today.
Yeah.
Kris Maharaj, Neville said, had a score to settle. A maid at the DuPont Plaza checked in on room 1215 early in the morning. Although it had been booked out to a man named Eddie Dames, it appeared the room had not been used the night before. It was spotless. The Do Not Disturb sign still hung on the inside of the door. At 12:15 p.m., the maid and her boss were asked to check the room. They attempted to enter but were unable to do so because it was locked from the inside and, consequently, the master key would not work. The room could not be locked from the inside unless someone was inside the room. 10 minutes later, she returned with a security guard and they noticed that the Do Not Disturb sign was now hanging on the doorknob. This time when she tried the master key, it worked. She opened the door and upon entering the room discovered the bodies of two men, Derek Moo Young and his son, 23-year-old Dwayne. When Detective Birdmaster arrived at the hotel, he observed the blood
Birdmaster, what a
through the
fucking
carpet
name.
from room 1215 into the hallway. There was blood also on the door just adjacent in room 1214, as well as the fragment of one projectile lodged in this doorway. When he entered the room, he found Derek just inside the door. He had been shot multiple
TheorySabers.com. And Star Wars, and now it's just interesting to see. It's like it's good, but it's also bittersweet because then it's turning into like a fad.
Johnny boy, it's good dog. Oh, Ow! That's my dog right there. Ow! What's up, Sean? Ow, ow, ow! That's my dog!
Times in the legs and chest. A television
Redeem
and a
Toke,
lamp
you were
had also
reading
been
my
struck.
motherfucking
There was a
mind.
cushion from the sofa that appeared to have been used in the attack, perhaps as a means to muffle the sound of the shots. Blood smears were apparent on the doorway, as though a full hand, perhaps Derek's, had attempted to grasp it at some point. A briefcase sat in the room full of papers which presumably belonged to one of the victims. It was later determined to be Derek Moo Young's. The suite had a second floor where there was a bedroom. Dwayne Moo Young was found on this upper level. He had collapsed to the floor as though he had been in a kneeling position. His hands were bound. The manner that he was shot was what the detectives described as execution style. It appeared that the two had been waiting in the room before being ambushed. The detectives were not given much time to track down potential leads before an eyewitness to the murders, Chris's acquaintance, Neville Butler, went to police with a story of what he allegedly saw and what Kris Maharaj
Starting
had
from full
allegedly
inventory
done.
planks, repeating.
At first, Neville told the police that Kris had kidnapped him and coerced him into helping to kill the Moo Youngs. Later, he amended his story. It was Neville's narrative on which the case against Kris would be based. The details he provided matched the physical evidence. However, according to Kris, by noon that day when the crime had taken place, he had already been gone for hours. Neville had escorted him to the room at around 9 a.m. He said that the writer
This is a huge
had
toke, by the
persuaded
way.
him to meet Eddie
Fucking
Dames
massive.
in
We're
room
going all
415,
in.
telling him that Eddie could distribute the Caribbean Times in the Bahamas, where he worked as an air traffic controller and conducted other business. But according to Kris, Eddie didn't show.
Neville Butler took me up to the apartment, opened the apartment. Neville Butler said perhaps he went out. He insisted that I wait. I said, no, I'm going. I am never late for an appointment, and I'm always on time. And I left.
Neville told police that when Derek Moo Young arrived at the DuPont, he had unexpectedly brought his son Dwayne, who was not an intended target of the attack. When the Moo Youngs entered the room, Kris emerged from behind the door with a gun in his right hand and a pillow in his left. An argument ensued, and Kris shot Derek in the leg. Neville said that Kris then instructed him to tie the Moo Youngs up, but before he could do so, Derek lunged at Kris, who again shot him 3 or 4 more times. While Kris questioned Dwayne about the money, Derek Moo Young managed to open the door to the hallway and attempted to crawl outside. Kris pulled him back into the room. Kris took Dwayne upstairs for further questioning, attempting to verify what the Moo Youngs had done with the money allegedly extorted from his relatives in Trinidad. Neville would testify that he then heard a single gunshot. Kris came downstairs alone, and they both left room 1215.
I'm fucking cheat.
Why Neville stood downstairs in the hotel room while Kris was upstairs instead of fleeing at that stage was not made clear. In what would also have been very odd behavior, Neville said that the two then waited in a car in front of the hotel, where they had just committed 2 brutal murders, for 3 hours for Eddie Dames to return to his room. Eddie, a man that had never met Kris, had been pulled into the plan to murder the Moo Youngs in his hotel room for reasons that Neville did not explain. Once Eddie arrived, Neville exited the vehicle and left the scene. Later that day, Kris contacted Neville
Eric. How about you?
at a Denny's restaurant near the Miami airport to coordinate their stories. That night, Neville turned up at the Denny's as agreed, but he was not alone. Alongside Neville entered Detective Burmaster and the Miami PD. Kris was arrested for murder.
I was at Denny's having dinner, and I saw Neville Butler walking with a man.
Oh, bro, I'm fucking so stoned right now, Sean. It's my head swimming.
You've been arrested for murder. I say, what you talking about?
My head's swimming, bud.
Kris was so certain of weaknesses in the case against him that he skimped on his lawyer, hiring a single defense attorney at a set fee of $20,000 for the trial, despite being a millionaire facing a potential death sentence. His trial got off to a rocky start and went downhill from there.
I guess being a
The
cheap
sitting
fuck
judge
never
solicited
pays,
a bribe
eh?
from Kris in exchange for setting him free. He refused and promptly reported the attempt. 3 days into the trial, the judge was arrested when a law enforcement officer posing as a Colombian cartel member offered him a bribe in exchange for bail in a different case. The judge was ushered out of the courtroom. He was later disbarred. Chris's
That's
defense
hilarious.
counsel, Eric Hendren, was given an opportunity at that point to request a mistrial. But much to Chris's confusion, Hendren declined to do so. Neville took the stand and offered his version of events, which clearly outlined how Kris had committed the murders.
He had a gun in one hand and a pillow or cushion in the other hand.
Detective Burmaster then testified that upon interviewing Kris, he claimed never to have entered room 1215. However, Chris's fingerprints were found on the room's Do Not Disturb sign, in addition to 11 additional sets of prints throughout the inside of the room. Ballistic evidence pointed to the use of a Smith & Wesson 9mm handgun as the murder weapon, which, conveniently for the prosecution, was the same type of gun purchased by Kris only 6 months prior to the murders. In yet another incriminating statement, Burmaster told the jury that when questioned, Kris denied even owning a gun. Providing the final nail in the coffin was a witness named Tino Geddes. Tino had, up to the moment of testifying, provided an alibi for Kris at the time of the murder. Then, he changed his story. Testifying instead for the prosecution, Tino, who was another journalist for the Miami-based Caribbean newspapers, provided damning details of Chris's feud with the Muyongs, which had transpired over the course of 3 years and involved nasty accusations of fraud and theft on both sides. Tino had originally told police that he had a beer with Kris on the day of the murders. At around noon on that day, at the same time that the maid at the DuPont reported someone was inside the room and left only minutes later, Tino and Kris were together, tens of miles away from the DuPont Hotel in Fort Lauderdale. But Tino told the jury that Kris had been engaged in various prior and unusual attempts to kill Derek Muyong. Kris had conducted dry runs of the murders either for practice or failed attempts, and had included Tino as a witness to these.
The whole thing was played out as he had planned it when I was with him at the same venue, at the same hotel.
Also, critically, Tino
It just speaks to his
testified that he had
narcissism, how he's so
other witnesses
sure he would get
who
away with
also
murder,
gave Kris an alibi.
that he just hires like a cheap lawyer even though he's a
There were, in
multi-millionaire.
fact, 5 additional
What a
individuals
fucking
who
maroon.
provided an alibi for Kris that afternoon, from the time he left room 1215 until he went to Denny's for dinner. But with Tino's testimony, each one's credibility became questionable. Perhaps they had been coerced into lying, just as Tino had claimed. One was the manager at the restaurant where Kris had lunch that day. His name was Ron Kish, and he knew Kris as a regular. He was certain he served him that day. For the sake of the defense, however, it would not matter how credible Ron and the others were. When it came time to present Chris's defense, Eric Hendren stood up and rested his case. No defense witnesses were called. The prosecution's version of events went basically undisputed.
What?
Even Eric Hendren's cross-examination of Neville Butler was weak, suggesting that Neville himself had committed the murders in order to increase newspaper sales for the Caribbean Echo. It was a weak attempt and ultimately unconvincing. Kris Maharaj was convicted of the murders, and he was sentenced to death. Following the verdict, Kris fainted and his legs gave out. He needed to be carried out of the courtroom.
Shouldn't have killed him
When you
then.
found me guilty, I passed out. I fainted. I just couldn't believe you could be found guilty for something you didn't do. Murder. It's like dying, if you know what I mean. It's like another death.
Over the next several years, Chris's direct appeal reached the Florida and then the U.S. Supreme Court and failed. Then, in 1994, after 7 years on death row, a civil rights lawyer based in London, Clive Stafford Smith, began looking into Chris's case. Clive sourced the full police file from the archives, and within it, he found an overwhelming amount of previously undisclosed information, including facts that would have directly contradicted incriminating evidence against Kris offered at his trial.
I started going through it, and I discovered that the police knew that Kris had lost his gun before the murders ever took place. I discovered that Kris had actually told them from the very beginning he'd been in room 1215, so all those fingerprints, there was a perfectly innocent explanation.
Clive found handwritten notes from the police interview which confirmed that Kris had indeed told them from the onset that he had been inside room 1215 earlier that morning. He also uncovered notes from the assistant district attorney to Detective Burmaster about Kris's confiscated gun. A member of the Florida Highway Patrol had taken the gun and some of his money during a traffic stop months prior to the murders. The prosecution was aware of this. Kris was not even in possession of the gun they claimed was used as the murder weapon. Also amongst this paperwork was evidence damning to Neville Butler's credibility. Although the judge at trial had been told that both Neville and Kris had passed their polygraph tests, this was not, in fact, true. Neville failed portions of his lie detector, rendering the results inconclusive. He also changed his story due in part to his failed polygraph multiple times. Kris, however, had indeed passed his test. Armed with what he believed was concrete evidence of prosecutorial misconduct and the withholding of exculpatory evidence from Kris's defense, Clive launched another appeal for Kris. The argument was based on Eric Hendren failing in his defense and prosecutor John Kristenex not playing by the rules. Hendren was not admitting to any failures, however, and the state insisted that Kris had adequate, if not stellar, legal representation. The conviction held. Kris's death sentence, however, was reviewed and ultimately commuted. Documents revealed that the second trial judge had requested that the prosecution write up the sentencing order for him, and this order was dated before the sentencing phase of the trial had actually concluded. Kris was moved off of death row, but he was handed a 50-year sentence. He would not be eligible for parole until he was over 100 years old. Derek Moo Young's briefcase was also found in room 1215, but no one had paid much attention to what was in it. An investigator for Kris's defense had sought out the documents and was told by the district attorney that there was nothing of value to be found in it. But when Clive tracked down the contents years later, that proved to be demonstrably false. The papers in the briefcase revealed that the Moo Youngs were behind a massive money laundering operation. Letters outlined a negotiation to buy a Panamanian bank for $600 million and to lend the government of Trinidad $2 billion. The papers showed that Derek Moo Young, a man whose tax filings listed a salary of only $24,000, had access to $5 billion in Japanese yen.
What?
They had established a company for passing the money through in Panama, Cargill International. The office location and business was linked to a lawyer of Pablo Escobar's powerful drug cartel. Pablo Escobar was the sole head of the Medellin cartel and was arguably the world's most powerful drug trafficker in the 80s and early 90s. Escobar was known in his lifetime as the king of cocaine.
I was on my
and
balcony.
upon his death in 1993, he was worth tens of billions of dollars. He ran a ruthless
I was on my
operation,
balcony and this man
whereas
did
a portion
one.
of his business was based upon bribes, the other end was handled with violence. His victims were known to be other drug smugglers, government officials, informants, and civilians. The contents of the briefcase showed that the Moo Youngs were clearly deeply embroiled with
Fuck is wrong with
players
people?
and very likely embedded with Escobar's cartel activities.
What's up?
This alone should have been enough to raise red flags to the original
Okay, have a good
investigators.
one, eh?
But even more so when the documents were
Sean,
examined
that's
further.
fucking hilarious.
Duplicate copies of the laundering documents with some minor edits and fraudulent signatures
fucking
showed that
funny,
the Moo Youngs
dude.
were not only laundering funds, they were
Only in
skimming
Ohio, eh?
1% off the top and keeping it for themselves. With $1 billion laundered, this equated to $1 million stolen directly from Escobar and his associates. This seemed to be fairly clear motive for murder. There was only one other room on the 12th floor of the DuPont Plaza that was occupied on the day of the murders. For 7 months prior to the 16th of October, the room directly across the hall, room 1214, had been the home of a man named Jaime Vallejo Mejia. Following the physical evidence from the crime scene, bloodstains from the doorway of 1215 led directly across the hall to this door. Jaime had spoken with police, but they had only recorded asking him 2 questions. Had he seen anything? Did he hear anything? Detective Burmaster determined he was legit and provided no follow-up. Jaime promptly checked out of room 1214 the very next day. Then, in September 1987, before Kris's trial commenced, he was indicted in Miami on money laundering charges. Witnesses and documents showed that he had allegedly hand-carried more than $40 million to Switzerland for deposit to Swiss bank accounts on behalf of Colombian drug smugglers.
Dude, what the fuck? These guys are some
he
real
managed to
players.
escape the U.S. after striking a deal with federal officials. In Colombia, where investigators for Kris's case tracked him down, locals confirmed that he was a senior cartel operative. He was in league with none other than Pablo Escobar. After decades behind bars, Kris Maharaj's team had argued multiple appeals and had been struck back time and again. Seeking corroborating evidence of their cartel theory, investigators traveled to Colombia and eventually made contact with multiple associates of the cartel. These individuals provided statements about the Muyongs. One person associated with the cartel stated that in June or July 1986, Pablo Escobar himself said that, thanks to the Muyongs, he was losing money faster than he could make it, and therefore ordered the Muyong murders. In all, 5 drug cartel associates, including one of Pablo Escobar's chief lieutenants, gave statements in 2014 admitting that they, not Kris, were responsible for the murders, that Kris had nothing to do with it, and they knew nothing about him.
What happened was this in my mind. The Muyongs were laundering money for the cartels. They started skimming money off the top. They then got in trouble. And it was set up so that they would meet in the DuPont Plaza Hotel, and Kris was meant to be there too. All 3 of them were meant to die. It was then going to be left as a murder-suicide, where you've got the 2 guys you dislike killed, and you've got someone else fingered for it. Clearly Neville Butler was there. And somehow Jaime Villegas Mejia must have been supervising it.
2 men were named specifically by the cartel informants as responsible for the murders. El Chino was a known cartel assassin. Colombian authorities have accused him of several hundred homicides. The second man named was Manuel Guillermo Cuchilla Salazar. Cuchilla was an Escobar man who had made a name for himself by coordinating the murder of federal informant Barry Seal in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. 8 months later, he was in Miami when the Muyongs were killed. A witness had stated that 2 men fitting their description entered the DuPont Hotel with Eddie Dames around 9:30 to 10 a.m. on the 16th of October. Eddie Dames, it seems, was not interested in circulating Caribbean newspapers at all. In his capacity as an air traffic controller, he had become a key player in the cartel's transshipment operations. Later records from the DEA would confirm these associations. It is thought that these 3 men, Eddie Dames and the 2 named cartel assassins, entered room 1214 where Jaime Mejia, the senior money man, was staying. They awaited the Muyong's arrival in the room across the hall, which would have occurred after Kris had already left. These men then committed the murders and pushed Neville Butler to go straight to the police with his story about Kris Maharaj. Neville was likely present at the time of the murders as he had claimed, but Kris, he had been framed. After compiling all of the evidence, hundreds of pages of witness statements, documents that had been available since the trial in 1987, as well as the wealth of information gleaned since, Clive Stafford Smith was once again ready to fight Kris's conviction. His case now included a CIA informant that had overheard cartel members discussing Escobar's order to murder the Muyongs contemporaneous to the time it happened. In addition, in 2014, an ex-hitman of Escobar's cartel known as Popeye, one of Colombia's most notorious killers, provided a signed affidavit that he knew Escobar had ordered the hit on the Muyongs. And Tino Geddes, the alibi witness from Kris's trial that had turned state witness last minute, was found to have skirted a potential life sentence for gun smuggling into Jamaica when the prosecutors from Kris's trial offered to fly down and testify on his behalf. He got off with only a small fine. The remaining 5 alibi witnesses all
that guy's
firmly
laughing,
maintained their
dude.
original
That guy is
statements.
laughing.
They were with Kris Maharaj that afternoon. He could not have been in room 1215 when the murders took place.
I don't spend time thinking what life is outside, but I just get depressed, if you care to put it that way. thinking of what life I had before and why I'm in here. I get up in the morning and say, God, why am I in here? I did nothing wrong.
Following his appeal in 2019, federal magistrate judge Alicia M. Otazo Reyes made a legal finding that Kris had proven his innocence by clear and convincing evidence and that no reasonable juror could convict him, but ruled that this was not sufficient for Kris to be set free.
One of the things that people find very hard to understand about the American legal system is that in 1983, the United States Supreme Court effectively said that the mere fact that you're innocent is not a reason under the federal constitution for us to let you go free. And the way they get to this totally mad rule is that if you look at the US Constitution, nowhere in it does it say thou shalt not execute or incarcerate an innocent person. And therefore the pedants who have made up the rules on the Supreme Court say there's no right to be set free if you're just innocent.
After nearly 35 years in
That's
prison,
crazy.
many of these spent on death row, Kris's health is now failing. His wife Marita stood by him, continuing to visit him every week and holding out hope that one day they will be able to enjoy a simple life together in their old age.
Bro, they just straight up said, fuck you, you're dying in here anyway.
He's still, but
That's
a very
crazy.
sad person. Very.
Basically, the legal system is saying we're not going to
You
admit our
look at his
mistake.
eyes and you
That's
see
all that
there is-
means. Like, no, we didn't make no
you
mistakes.
see sorrow. He's
That's
in a
crazy.
wheelchair because of what happens to him. He's not the same man that he used to be. I ask
It's crazy.
the government, the people of England, to do what they can to help us to go through this and go back home.
I mean, you're sitting there smuggling drugs and shit,
need to
lady.
go back home.
Like, your husband was sitting there
We need to go
smuggling
to
drugs
London.
and shit anyway, you know what I mean? Running illegal
Members of the
multi-billion-dollar
British Parliament,
businesses.
led
They don't
by
want him out.
MP Sir Peter Bottomley,
They don't want that
had
man
supported
out.
Kris for decades, signed a legal brief supporting his team's calls to have him freed while this evidence was put before a court. That came just weeks after the Foreign and Commonwealth Office filed a similar document supporting the release of this evidence in Kris's bid for freedom. These efforts have all failed. Prosecutor John
Your boy
Pasternak
Kris has
was
some
appointed
dirt
a
on
circuit
someone.
judge in 2009.
That's why he's still in prison.
Clive Stafford Smith published a book entitled Injustice, Life and Death in the Courtrooms of America, which
Put
uses
money on
Kris's
it.
case as a framework to critique the American justice system. He is the founder of Reprieve, which is a nonprofit focused on the rights of death row prisoners. He continues to fight for Kris. The latest filing as of taping is an opinion published in March 2022, in which the 11th Circuit Court rejected Kris's latest appeal relating to the withholding of information about Jaime Vallejo Mejia, the man across the hall. And the court refused to hear arguments relating to Kris's standalone claim of innocence.
And to the people in the UK where you're from, who say, why should we believe your story?
But everybody in the UK who knows me who must know I'm innocent. As soon as they have this hearing, they've got to vindicate me. They've got to declare me innocent. Everything is on the record. I think of that every day. I want to be on the first plane to England. I mean, England is my home. Now I've got to clear my name, of course.
And you're confident you'll do that?
Oh, yes. I'm 100% certain. God. On death row, every morning I got up, I said Psalm 23, the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want, and I shall dwell in the house of the Lord forever, forever. Amen.
And that is the case of Krishna Maharaj so far. Thanks for joining me. I'm Kevin. This is Just Thought Lounge, and I'll see you in the next one.
That was a pretty interesting case. I don't know. Interesting one for sure. There's some real motherfucking players there. The guy's income was 240,000, $24,000 on paper, and this man's worth $6 billion fucking dollars. That's just crazy. That's crazy. Pick up some diamonds. Pick this bitch up again. 810 kills, boys. Let's go. Oh, well, I guess I'm just gonna snipe him. Oop. Huge 50. Huge 50 again. 20. We'll take it. Huge. We're gonna fucking kill this guy here. Big G's. Here we go. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Good amount of loot right there, mate. Good amount of loot right there. $26 mil. $26 Miller. 3K drop. That's fucking disgusting. Almost 30 mil in the bank, boys. Holy. We got all these beginner class kits. Hard, easy. We got all of those too. Jackson. Yo, what's up? What's up, Squirter? About to head to work, out of boy. Yeah, I gotta go to work tomorrow, bro. I start work tomorrow. Today's a holiday in Canada. Yeah, I start Tuesday 8 a.m. Be safe at work, my man. Have a good day. Don't work too hard. Don't work too hard, know what I'm saying? Enjoy the shift tomorrow? Fine, I'll try. I'll try. Happy holidays. Appreciate you, bro. Two monitors, TV, yeah, that's sick. Yeah, I was supposed to clean my room today, but I'm just honestly super lazy and I don't want to, so I'll just do it tomorrow after work. Let's rearrange. Just move the monitors. Fair. I gotta go through. I've got some shelving, like some bankers boxes above my bed of like stuff I gotta go through. From when I was like a kid. I got my old PS2 up there as well. Gotta go. Good luck with Vorkath. Yeah, I appreciate you, brother. You stay out of trouble. Have a great day, man. God bless. Some rune arrows. I'm pretty sure that's on the rare draw table, isn't it? Rune arrows. Yep. 1 in 1900 draw. Man, give me a Vorky. Give me Vorky. Oh, no. I'll be right back, boys. I gotta go take a piss super bad. Ooh, be back. Do I prefer range? I prefer... Honestly, I don't really mind either. They're both kind of, like, fun. When I get bored of one version, I just do the other. You know what I mean? I just don't have a Dragon Hunter Lance right now. I sold my Dragon Hunter Lance. So I've just been ranging. Because the Dragon Hunter crossbow is just cheaper. I'm just saving up for 100 mil in the bank. And then I'm gonna go buy some upgrades for armor and get my construction to 92 so I can set up my house and, you know, all sorts of shit. Well, I guess I don't really need to get to 92. I can use a spiced pie to boost. Now I'm thinking of it, but... Saving back up. Word. I feel that low-key meat, I am saving back up low-key. I don't even think we pushed another kill here, honestly. $60,000. I mean, I think we push another kill here. Just gonna take some loot off the ground and we're balancing. How much is a singular dragon hide worth right now? 1,700. All right, we'll drop that. Pick the food. Like this. We'll go like this. We'll take a PO. My first unique Cox on the 19th kill for a Dex scroll. Nice. Nothing wrong with that. How much did that go for? $14 million. Hey, there you go. That's what's up. Yo, I got a bagel in the toaster oven downstairs. Give me a second. I'm gonna go cream cheese this bitch up, and I'll be right back. How you doing, him? So we'll need 50 mil in just oak planks to get to 92. Okay. Come on. Hey, baby. That's not even including the butler or anything like that. That's just for the planks. Hey. Hey. Hmm. Hey. Now the question is, do we sell the dragon hunter crossbow? And just use a rune crossbow. And then rebuild, get the 92 construction. And then just rebuild for the dragon hunter crossbow. Do we do that? That's the real question. Hey. You stinky. You stinky. You stinky. You stinky. Hey. Okay, relax. So we spent at least half of the 100 mil we're gonna save on fucking construction. Like maybe even 2/4, 2/3, like 3/4. Maybe even 3/4 of the shit that we save up. Hey, baby. baby. Excuse me. Yo, what's up, Zeno? How you doing, buddy? How did Skyrim go? Yeah, it looks fun. That shit looks mad fun, bro. It looks like a better version of The Witcher. Honestly. Should try it? Yeah, I definitely should. Is it like a multiplayer thing? Dude, that'd be so cool. Imagine you could do that multiplayer. That's... Oh my goodness. That'd be epic. Oh, move. I don't know how long it'd take, but there's Skyrim Together Reborn. No fucking shot, dude. Are you actually serious? There's a multiplayer Skyrim like that? Dude, that's insane. I've never heard of that. That's crazy. Rocky! Yo, Zeno, if you ever get the opportunity, bro, you should watch this new Penguin TV show that came out. It's fucking amazing. Pretty bullshitty at times, but it's still pretty grounded. 225. New video, Penguin TV show, the Penguin TV show. You just trying to check it out when you can? Yeah, bro, it's super good. If it's like the Breaking Bad meets Sopranos, almost in a way. We're killing it here, boys. Vorkath is getting murked right now. Oh my goodness. What Casey is this? 825. Bro. Bro, I got... Dude, this is fucking insane. Like, I've got so much shit to work with here, it's crazy. Like, I can't even pick up those off the ground. I might run out of prayer before I fucking leave here. That's how good efficient we're being right now. It's crazy. We're just gutting this guy right now, dude. Oh my god. This isn't even fair for him. What the hell? I don't even have my prayers on. We're just fucking him. How much are these? 32. 16. Drop. That up. Drop. That up. Where's out here American right now? Oh my goodness. Our inventory is so full, boys, like... This is wild, bro. I've never had a run so good. I've never had a run so good. The extra HP, the range levels, the extra couple of magic levels I've gotten made a kind of world of difference right now. No fucking joke. Oh my goodness. He's already down to 350 HP. This is crazy, bro. Bro, this is nuts. Okay. I guess we just do it one more time. Can't be having that. Oh. This bitch. That was fucking a great trip. Oh my goodness. Jesus. Boys, 1.1 mil that trip? My god. Let's go, baby. We're gaming right now. Absolutely gaming. It's a little mill right there. Oh shit, I fucked up. I'm lucky to be alive, gentlemen. Ooh, Vorkath had Ipidikaye. Okay, well, that could have been avoided, but. Kill this fucking guy. Let's go. So that's deep into another round here. Okay. I'll be right back. Pop that bitch on right there, just in case. I guess